All right, everybody, welcome here to our special live edition of Kart Chaser Live with Garett Potter and Robbie Poupart from ROK Cup USA. We talked about this last night on Happy Hour that we were going to bring the two main guys that are putting on one of the biggest shows in karting, the ROK Vegas event. It is coming up. It is less than 2.5 weeks away. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot of information, and we were talking Garett and myself, because I'll be out there. I'll be on commentary. We're actually very excited. We're going to have more on-weekend coverage and video and social media than we have ever done before at a race outside of a live stream, which we were really wanting to do, but Vegas is just crazy. So we're working on that stuff. Live streaming stuff we're working on for 2022. But we are going to have so much content there. Super, super excited to get to it. But there's also a lot you got to know when getting into Vegas and getting to play, and the world is still crazy with COVID testing and everything like that. So with everything going on, we figured, you know what, the best way is let's go live. We got a lot of you on here. A lot of people obviously are going to be watching on replay to get their questions answered. You can obviously still email ROK Cup or message the page. You can get any questions answered if you're watching this on replay. But if you're watching live, send those questions in you've got about ROK Vegas. Send any questions you got about 2022 ROK Cup's program. They're all going to be answered here after we get through all of our housekeeping stuff. We've got the 2022 locations for the Florida Winter Tour to be announced. We've got some updates to the ROK Cup track for ROK Vegas. So let's first get to that and get to some of the housekeeping stuff we got here with Garett and Robbie. So Garett, passing it off to you here. Let's go through the first thing. We have a little bit of a track change we're going to go over first, right? We got a little bit of a layout change. Why don't we preface it? We'll give you the chance to talk about the story we had over the weekend, because you guys had a heck of a weekend prepping for this deal.
Yeah. Well, obviously, you know, many people know that it takes months and months to get this race rolling and get it set up. We were going to a new location, which is even make it, you know, much harder to deal with. New track, new paddock. So we spent, the last 4, 5, 6 months, you know, designing and setting up. And I got a call on Wednesday of last week in the afternoon from the Caesars Entertainment letting me know that they're unable to get a TCU permit for the lot that we had the track on. So what is a TCU permit? It's a temporary commercial use permit. Whenever you're doing events like ours, carnivals, outdoor gatherings, that type of stuff, you have to get a TCU for those particular events. So needless to say, my heart sank, and you know, what do we do now? So what's the answer? Why can't we get a TCU permit is obviously the first question. So after many calls and then in a call back or a conference with their legal team and the management there, basically that particular lot, which they call their Harmon lot, it's on Koval or off Koval and Harmon Avenue there on that corner. That's a 99-year lease. That's not unusual down there. All the properties are leased down there pretty much. The problem is the owners never turned that into a commercial piece of land to use. So when they applied for the TCU permit, the city says, hey, it's not a commercial property. You can't do that. So what entails making it usable? And what that entails is the new owners need to request that it be turned into commercial. A fire hydrant needs to be installed because it's commercial property. They need to assign an address to it for any emergency services or response. So needless to say, none of that, all that's not going to be done in a 14-day period. So, I mean, it was devastating. What do we do? Are we canceling? You know, what happens? So I called Robbie and dropped that bomb on him, and we jumped on a plane Friday morning to go down there. The one thing Caesar did say is, you know, we'll put you anywhere you want to go. Where do you want to be? You know, and what property you want to go to? How can we make it work? They've always been fantastic to work with, and you know, without their help, we couldn't have done last year. So they're way willing to help whatever we need to get done. So Robbie and I jumped on a plane on Friday morning, went down there with our measuring wheel and our notes, and started laying out a new track, a new paddock, tire distribution, fuel storage. I mean, the whole 9 yards, 4 months worth of work in 4 days, basically. So luckily enough, we were able to basically what we've done is move the track into the paddock area. And then we took over all of their employee parking and their training center where they have their employees trained. We took over all that for the paddock and bathrooms, distribution, fuel. We were a little concerned that the track may be a little tight, but man, it turned out fantastic. So the new track is 0.84, which is much larger than we've ever had. It's and 16 turns. So I think it's going to turn out to be great. Again, I was super worried on Friday, but after we left there on Friday and started designing it, I think it's going to be actually a really, really great track. I think our track at Rio was 0.62, so we're 0.2 larger than that. And again, the layout's a little tight. Grid, fuel distribution, scales. But it is what it is. We've been in tighter situations than this, but I'm really happy with the way the track turned out. And I know there was some concern. I seen some after we posted the original track over on the Harmon lot. They didn't think it was going to be very challenging. It was going to be fast, but not challenging. So I think we've handled it for those guys that are worried about that, because I think this track's going to be a challenge. But anyway, that's the story. We've moved on. We're completely the track design's done. All the permits are done. Just got approval because we had to resubmit all that yesterday. And now we're redesigning the paddock. So we'll get that posted by the end of day tomorrow, just so everybody can understand the whole facility layout. But not much has changed, honestly, for the racers. It's still behind Planet Hollywood. The access is still going to be the same coming out of Planet or Paris. Basically, where you're going to drive your cart and where you're going to park your trailer is the only thing that changed. But, everything else will stay the same. So anyway, it was mad scramble, but with Robbie's help and the Rio, we made it work. Or Caesar, sorry.
Right. So this one we were counting right before we went on. It's 16 turns. Is what it looks like. You've got a lot more technical sections. We've got the track layout. Track looks really, really cool. And as mentioned right there by Phil Pignataro coming on here, first comment. This now we can have the grid and the scales be a whole lot closer, so you can see where you come off on the scales right next to the grid.
Positive thinker. I like that.
Yeah. So, But I think the layout's really cool. I mean, I got this obviously today as we were going through and getting ready for the show, but this is super, super cool. So you've got some technical section. You've got a really tight corner right there where you guys come off the scales. Have we decided, are we going to be doing the starts on that long straightaway? Do we know where we're setting the lines up and everything?
Yeah, that back straight unfortunately, there's no way for us to get the front straight. We always like to have the front straight close to the people, but for room and safety, we had to do it on the back straight. But with that said, underneath that monorail, there's a sidewalk. So there's definitely going to be viewing there. So it's not like it's going to be closed off. So you'll still be able to go out there and be able to view. I mean, you're not going to be able to drive your golf cart out there, but to walk out the walkway and then down that sidewalk to be able to see, no problem. Right there by the scale exit, we'll have a mechanic viewing area. So, right off a grid, dump your cart stand, jump on the mechanic stand. So the mechanics will have, we'll do our standard 10 or 8 or 10 foot. I think those things are. So they'll be able to see the whole track. And then we'll have some more viewing on the fire lane side, as well as down that whole back straight. So overall, I think I was super nervous, obviously, going in Friday morning on a plane, flying down there, wondering what we're going to do. But after we started walking it and laying it out, I'm really happy with the way it turned out, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we're already getting comments coming in here. This is from Mike Adams over on Facebook talking about the cool, how much cooler the layout is. I got to agree. I think you guys killed it, which is crazy to think, in 4 days you came up with such a good layout. We'll see how it races, but you've got a couple tight corners. We've got some technical sections. I think the biggest thing that was always tricky with the layout we've run the last couple of years is you had most of your passing zones like back to back in one section, and the rest of the lap was sectioned. But now you've got where you can stuff a guy, and then you've got a couple corners that aren't passing right after, so you can get away. And hopefully some of that blocking racing may not always be like where they're losing 5 seconds a lap just to get by one guy. So super cool.
I mean, for me, I really loved the other track just because it was safe. we've ran it at the Rio. We made some modifications to it because we were able to make it longer and wider. It was safe. It was fast. But again, I think this is going to be like lots of places to pass. So that comment. I mean, yeah, for me, I'm excited.
Yeah. And that's that's just the first of it. There's a lot of cool news to still drop about it. So obviously, guys got to get the registration in, right? Registration.
Yeah.
Soon.
I was supposed to check on that. I think registration closes. Ursula, are you listening? Can you tell us when it closes? I want to say it closes this Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe Monday. Yes, I'm leaving next week. It closes on Monday.
Yeah. So it'll be really cool, even with the long backstretch. That I love the idea of having these like kind of spread out double apex corners, because if you block down the backstretch, you may not get freight train, but you swing out and you get guys just to barely get underneath you. So yeah, we could stare at the layout all day. There's a whole lot more we got to talk about, but I'm nerding out on it. I mean, I just admiring it. This is really, really cool. So,
yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah. So let's move on. Obviously, we've got some prize money up for grabs for everybody. It wouldn't be Vegas if we didn't throw money towards the racers, if we weren't gambling on the racetrack to try and come away with some coin. So we break down the top five. We're paying out to the top five in all classes here in ROK Vegas, right, Garett?
Yeah, I think it's around 45, 50 grand, something like that between the classes. I'm not sure the exact breakdown. I want to say 2,500 for the win-ish.
Yeah.
That sounds right. Do you have it there?
20, yeah, I've got it pulled up right here. I don't have it on our screen, but I'll go over that really quickly with everyone. So we're going to have $2,500 to win in every single class, $1,000 to second, $750 to third, $500 to fourth, and $250 to fifth. And the ever popular tire changing contest. We were just talking about this right before we went on the air. We have upped the prize, cash prize for that from $500 in years past. It will now be $1,000 for the mechanics to get in the tire changing contest. Now, Garett, going over that with you and Robbie. Robbie, you guys were talking about the way that's going to work. It's a tournament style because you end up with the finalists on the stage. We're thinking roughly about 20 people are going to be able to enter, 20 of the best mechanics. And then we're going to final down. Does it come down to a head-to-head, or does it come down to a final four on the stage?
It'll come down to the final four on the stage there, and they'll shoot it out. So going into the finals, everybody's even, and then whoever the remaining four there, whoever gets it done first, of course, wins. So it's always been pretty exciting to watch those guys get after it. I don't know how they change the tires that fast, but it's always impressive.
And along with that, as we talk about registration, we do have a couple reminders and have the breakdown right here of what every driver needs to do. So we are going to be using the Kart Pass app again, which has worked really well at all the ROK Cup events this year. So you need to make sure you have the Kart Pass app installed on your phone. Drivers need both the registration and the pit pass. So the driver registration is not considered complete until you have both passes. The driver pit passes are sold separately, but we've adjusted the registration. I shouldn't say we, it's you guys. We're just there to cover the show. But the registration fees have been adjusted to account for this ever purchase. So you're not getting nickel and dime. It's just the way that the app works for the passes and for the colors and everything compared to the entry. The entry split out. You're still paying the same amount of money. But as a driver, you need to make sure you have both your purple registration pass and a blue driver pass. Then it's green for the mechanic, and so on and so forth down.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing there is the pass was originally designed as a waiver system, right? So they've been using it for years. Pit Pay has been using it for a waiver system. You just pay for your pit pass and you're in. We last year with COVID and everything that was going on, we met with them in July and come out with this system so we could go touchless. So and plugged in the registration element of it. So you have to do registration and then your passes are separate. But I think everybody's starting to get that figured out. For me, I think it's been an amazing tool for me to make our side smoother and much easier to check in. So anyway, the passes, as you said, registration is purple, driver blue, mechanic green, crew pass yellow. And then you'll also get shot a red pass if you are in at a transponder. So,
and on top of that, you guys did post a press release Q&A. So there's some stuff in there that's worth touching on the stream. We're not going to go in depth because we don't have the whole map of everything on the parking for race trailers, but that's broken down on the Q&A. There's places to park passenger cars and rental cars. That's all been sorted, even with the newer layout of the lots for that. But we have international people that always come out to Vegas. You guys have something really cool for those, because there still are a lot of COVID regulations. Garett, you guys are going to have on-site COVID testing for those that need to get a COVID test to get out of the country. So they don't even have to leave the racetrack. For those Canadians, for any of the South Americans coming in, you guys will be able to get your COVID test to get on a plane done at the race.
Yeah, so he'll set up on Friday from 9 to 5, so he'll be there all day on Friday. And so just roll in there. I think it's 150 if I'm not mistaken. I'd have to go back and look. Pretty sure it's 150. And 24-hour results. It's a PCR test, which is the pretty much the gold standard of testing that I've seen. But the guy's really great. He's got a good operation, and he was very helpful with, we kind of caught him off guard a little bit. So it's not something that he does constantly, but I was looking for someone mobile. Typically now there's a lot of people doing it, but man, they're charging $250, $300 a piece. And this guy was worked with us on it. So anyway, I hope it helps people. One less thing for them to worry about.
100%. And the last thing that we'll cover before we get to the Q&A, as we've already got some questions specifically about ROK Vegas. So we had one comment come in, ask about the Florida Winter Tour dates. We're going to get to that. It's coming. Obviously not the dates, but the locations. But the last thing to talk about off the Q&A, that's an interesting point we can at least go into. Can you park in between this Vegas race and the other Vegas race in December? You guys do have a solution for that as well.
Yeah, so obviously that's going to be – it's always a question. This year is even a bigger question, because I know that, there's a lot of stuff going on at the Rio, and parking's very limited with everything they've got going on. So we were able to secure the location. Basically, it'll be on site. We're going to be – because of the track change, we're going to be using some of that area. So we're going to need, a few hours to clear some stuff on Sunday to make that spot available. But we will make it available for anybody that wants to park there. Just need to get with one, you need to register or at least put your name on the list at registration. Talk to Hannah or Ursula, Morgan, any of those guys that are there. And just get your name on the list. Yeah, I'm going to keep my rig here. And then get with Robbie or I as far as the location. The big thing to remember is we will be there Monday and Tuesday cleaning up. Tuesday when we leave, 8 and 9 o'clock at night, the gates will lock. So it's the only way to, obviously we want to make sure everybody's stuff's secure. It's barbed wire fenced. So the only stipulation was their security guys didn't want to have to deal with opening the gate all the time. So it'll lock on Tuesday. I think that's the 9th, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. And then it won't reopen again until the 28th, Saturday. Can you check that? Is that the 28th Saturday or is that Sunday?
It's the 28th.
Yeah, is that Sunday?
Let me look. That's Sunday.
Yeah, so Sunday the 28th, it'll open up again at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
So that way, at that point, you guys can come in and, work with the other program to see when they want you in. You're welcome to stage there all day or whatever you need to do before, depending on what's going on over there. But if you need access between those times, don't park there, because the security is going to lock it and they won't open it up until the 28th at 8. So anyway, but I hope that helps. Again, one less thing for people to worry about.
What about the days after the 28th?
If they're going to open that gate up, and that's it.
Okay.
So once it's open, because they got that one gate pulled, it's more of an employee lot, so you can kind of get in and out of there right now. But we're going to have it locked up so it's secured. But once they open it on the 28th, it'll be basically what it is now.
Yep. So there you go. So you guys are going to be able to park your rigs. It's all set up, even with the longer gap in between ROK Vegas and then when we go race in Vegas again. For those that are running both, you can leave your stuff there. Again, like Garett said, you guys will you'll need to make sure that you got everything out of your trailer you need if you're going to do anything in between, and you won't be able to get in. But at bare minimum, you're there. It's safe. It's secure. It's locked up. You get it back out Sunday the 28th. You move in the next week. for the next deal. There's COVID testing we touched on. We touched on the difference with the passes. So everyone's going to need the Cart Pass app. Works really well. Super simple, super user-friendly. If you got any questions, of course, ROK Cup's got everything set. And again, we go back on the money prizes just to recap on that since we touched on it earlier. $2,500 to win in each class, pays down to the top 5 all the way down to $250. $1,000, double in the purse on the mechanic tire changing contest. Roughly we'll have 20. Any shipping goes to acceleration karting as well.
Yeah, that's a big one. I get that question a lot. Where do we ship to? We've been partnering with Acceleration for, I don't know, 5-6 years now. Curtis and Brooke over there always take care of us. So basically ship everything to Acceleration Karting. And they are going to have a vendor spot there. So they'll be doing daily deliveries. So every morning when they come in, they'll bring packages. Of course, if you need something ASAP and it's not there, you can always drive over there and grab it during their business hours. But anyway, again, I want to really give a shout out to those guys. They've always taken care of us, taken care of all the cart family every year. So anyway.
Yeah, so a couple guys were asking here. We'll pull the layout back up. This is some of the first questions we got. Obviously, everyone's nerding out on the track layout, like myself. Really excited about it. Asking how long the long straight is. We know it's 0.8 of a mile. Robbie measuring it out. Roughly where were we at with the straightaway? Do we know off the map roughly where we're at?
What was it, right around 500 yards?
Yeah, no, it was I think it was closer to like 610, 615, something like that. Somewhere in the 6 range.
Yeah, because we moved one a little further down.
Yeah, so there you go. About a little over 600 feet.
Yeah, it's a pretty good shot, but you're coming on pretty quick too. So I think it's going to be there's another one. How long is the straight?
Yeah, there you go. Everyone asking.
600.
Yeah, 600 feet. Let's see. So we go on down here. This is from Mike Adams. The live stream of the event. Not yet. We're working on it. Trust me. Garrett and I have gone back. I've been nagging Garrett to try and get the live stream going.
I think people will know this when we talk about it, but the service in Las Vegas sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter where you go, what phone you have, it's garbage, And I thought it was just the Rio, because not only do we have our phone issues there, but our camera system is a nightmare to run at the Rio. And I thought maybe when we got over there, it wouldn't be as bad. But again, we're closer to the airport too. But the service is garbage. So there's just no way to really do a decent live stream. As you know, if you don't have, at least 20 to 30 up, you're wasting your time. So, but we have a plan for next year.
We do have a really good plan. We're really excited on that. So we're working on it. We're really, really close. There's some cool internet options as the world continues to evolve to hopefully make that happen. Trust me, Mike, I was working as hard as I could, and I know Garrett was, and he was testing for me while they were out there mapping out the track. And I asked him.
Actually, no, I went before that.
Oh, you're right. You did before.
I went before that.
I got my heart
Friday
broken
was
earlier.
a panic trip.
My heart broken earlier than that. But no, we got some stuff going. So hopefully next year we get it. I think it'll be in a really good spot by then. This is a question from Brody Shoecard asking if masks are going to be required this year like they were last year. No masks.
Negative.
No masks. So you guys
no mask police, man. No COVID trap police at this event. They do require masks in the casinos, indoors. I would say it's probably an 80-20. In the casinos, you see some people without them. For sure, if you're at the tables or the slots, they're grabbing you, or at registration. But overall, it's been pretty relaxed. For sure, outside, nothing. For what we're doing, there's no craziness like we had to do last year.
And
thank God.
Were you gonna say something, Robbie?
Yeah, I just said thank God. That was a nightmare policing that last year.
He was the COVID police last year.
I mean, you feel so stupid walking up to somebody like, "Hey, man, can you put your mask on? Can you put your mask on?" It's just, look, we all know it was an annoyance, but we had to do it to have the event. So, thankfully, we were able to get it done.
Yeah, well,
and pretty much everybody cooperated. I mean, look, I get it. You get caught up in the mix, mask comes off, you get distracted, whatever, excited, but we had to do our side to make sure everybody cooperated so we can have the event, and it was able to happen. Like I said, I think I probably pissed off a few people, but it was all part of the deal. I was just doing my job, to make sure we can have that event.
Well, I mean, racers are the easiest crowd, to be told what to do, right? You tell them there's a penalty, nobody ever cries. You tell them that they can't do that to their engine. Nobody ever has any complaints in racing. So it's an easy group to get it on. No, it's no mask. That also goes on to the next question we had come in, though. That was asking, do they need to be vaccinated to be at this event?
It's totally up to you if you want to be vaccinated or not.
Yeah. So
yeah, no requirement. No requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all good there. No vaccination required. Let's see. This is a good one here.
Okay, quick update. Sorry, I just went and double checked. 710 on the front on that straight.
There you go, 710, which is pretty standard. I think Ocala Grand Prix I measured one time was like 500 or maybe a little less for their front straight. So 700 is like a good front straight, not like a 1,500 foot straightaway where you're bouncing the limiter.
I think NOLA is like 820 or 850, so it's just under that. So it's not.
And bad. I think 16 is going to carry a good bit of speed onto it. So I think it'll actually carry full throttle early on in that corner there. So.
Yeah, so should be a good balance then. This was a question here from Becky Brown asking how far the walk to the track from the Paris hotel.
So that's a big question I've been getting to. It looks like a long ways. So I checked with the Rio. If you were staying at the Masquerade Towers at the Rio, to get to the Paddock was 1,680 feet. It's 1,679 feet from the towers for the Planet Hollywood. It's identical, and then and it's probably 50 feet further from Paris. So it's not bad. So it's basically where if you stay in the Masquerade Towers at the Rio, it's exactly the same.
So just to touch on that, the Planet Hollywood, you'll have to kind of walk through a mall, the Miracle Mall, to get back there. So you'll be indoors. That's good. I think Paris, you can walk out the front door and kind of hang a left and just go down the street. And then Bally's, you can go right out the back, I believe, and walk over down the street.
Yeah. And Bally's connected to the Paris too. So if you want to go to Paris, Bally's, Paris, and then out, you can do that as well.
They're all about the same distance. I think, like I said, I think the one that's going to be outside is going to be Paris. You got to walk outside down the street. But it's probably the easiest walk because it's less distracting, if you want to call it that. You just come out the front door, hang a left. Where the mall, you're going to walk by all the stores, everything like that, So in the morning time, it'd probably be okay. Going back in the evening time might be a little crowded, but.
Yeah. In the morning, there's nobody there. But like Robbie said, when you're rolling in through the mall at night, it's definitely busy. You also people asked about getting golf carts if people are going to park their golf cart, for an example, in the parking, the covered parking area. Yes, you will be able to get golf carts through the pedestrian area, past registration and into the paddock. So if you wanted to do that. It's possible.
There you go. This was from John Smith asking about taking fuel tanks out every run.
Okay, so as at this point right now, the answer is no. I noticed a document that I submitted last year that I've never submitted before, and actually not a document. I've submitted the document every year, but last year I included a picture which I never did before, and I think that's what may have caused that. Also, including that they had the fuel fire in NHRA last year in the paddock. So at this point, no, but we've planned for it, so it's not going to be a scramble like we did last year. So even if we have to, we have a process and a location that's going to make it fairly easy as it can be. Last year was, like I said, it was an afterthought. We had to throw it in because they made us do it. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but we've planned for it if it needs to.
There we go. So I think that about covers the questions we've got so far for ROK Vegas. So let's we've still got more. If you still have any more questions, we'll keep answering them.
Let's throw out real quick. Do you want to go over the one big thing for me, maybe Robbie, is the paddock?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to touch on. Like for all the team managers and things like that, even small teams, make sure you get like your exit signs for your tent. So what is it, Garrett? 4 per tent?
And every exit. So you have to have an exit and a no smoking sign. So,
Yeah.
And you can order them online. You can order them from UL, ship them to Acceleration. They're cheap online. If you go to Home Depot's going to be out in 5 minutes because 2 people are going to go buy them all out anyway.
Wait to get to Vegas.
And they're $15. I mean, you can get a pack of 100 for $25 online. So, yeah. So no smoking and exit. The more, the better.
And make sure you got fire extinguisher, to protect your equipment as well. The fire department can come, but the sooner you can get on it, the better. You got to protect your equipment, so make sure you got fire extinguisher there as well.
Well,
anything to help us, help the fire department is great.
Well, the big thing too, and I know people are kind of used to this, but these guys are going to be rolling in on Tuesday. I think that's the 2nd. So they're going to be coming in for inspection on Tuesday. So everybody's required to have a fire extinguisher, and they have to have a certain amount of fire extinguisher for every 400 square feet of tent. So I'm just getting ready to post the sub-regulations. I didn't do that because I wanted to tell everybody they were going to wonder why there was a new track in there. So I'll post that, and the details of the paddock of what's required for fire extinguishers and no smoking signs and exit signs are in there. And it's so easy. Everybody has them in their trailer, and we just need to get it done. So that way the fire marshal doesn't have to keep coming back. So anyway, go ahead, Robbie, on the rest. Sorry.
Yeah, and then I know a common question when guys are arriving is whether they can stake into the ground for securing the tents down and things like that. Yes, we're going to allow staking, but we're also going to require you to go back and fill that hole. So throughout the week, we'll come through and make note of how many stakes are in the ground in front of each tent and things like that. And we'll come back after the weekend. If you didn't fill those holes after, we'll have to fine you for that. So please, there's a couple different options out there to fill the hole. There's a quick patch asphalt that you can get from Home Depot pretty easy, and you just shovel it into the hole, and it does a really good job of sealing it. So if you plan on staking your tent down, please pick up a bucket of quick patch so you can go ahead and patch your holes. And also remember to clean up after. Garrett, what did we decide on the tarps? Is this parking lot requiring tarps?
No, we don't require tarps. If you want to put them down, it's great, but it's not. Tarps aren't required. The only thing I could stress is just we'll take the garbage, right? Just put it in a bag. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Is when you guys are done cleaning up, put it in a bag. We've got garbage people there. I have no problem. We got tons of bags. Just put it in a bag. We'll take care of it. One thing I will note on that, though, I do have a company coming to pick up tires that wants to use tires. So don't throw the tires in the garbage bags or in the garbage cans. Stack them nicely outside your tent. We'll have our crews come through and grab them and stage them where this other company's coming to get them. So
Levanto tires only, not any other brand.
Yeah, those other brands. They unloaded on us last year, didn't they?
Yeah, nobody wanted those other tires,
One more question. This was from Dalton Dallas. This is kind of, I guess, about it. Will the mechanic stand be for mechanics only? It says usually gets packed with everyone but mechanics before they make it there from the grid up to the mechanic stand. So it's a good question.
Yeah, the answer to that is yes. That particular mechanic stand is actually going to be in a secure area. So we won't have to police it because it'll be policed at the grid. That one that you see just on the other side of the scale line by the timing and steward's office, that's a restricted area for mechanics only. So yeah,
you can't get there if you don't have a mechanic ban or a driver ban. So we only allow one mechanic, one driver on grid. So those are only the guys that can get over there.
And we'll have 2 other viewing stations for whoever wants to go there. General public, people in the paddock, as well as mechanics and drivers can use those as well. But this one's specifically going to be for mechanics only.
There we go. This is a good question here from Ryan Woon asking if we'll have bumping up stuff for people with RVs.
I'm glad you put that one out. I'll make a note. I always forget till the last minute, but I'll set it up. Yes, we'll make it happen.
Sweet, good stuff we're doing. And then of course you get the normal. The last couple questions we had that were ROK Vegas related. Of course, we're asking how many drivers are going to be expecting. We've got till Friday. Drivers are always last second, so I don't want to put you guys on the spot if you don't have to, but you know.
Well, I think based on I don't deal with the counts. I do a race whether there's 5 or 500, so I let Ursula deal with that. But the last time I talked to her, based on where we were at before she left Italy, the first of last week, for sure we're going to beat our record, which is 320. So I think in the 330 to 350 range is probably a good guess. I think 320 was our biggest number, right, in 2019.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be a little over that. So we're happy with that. For to start back, especially with the craziness, we still got a lot of people that the 8th. They changed the entry date to the 8th, so we still got a lot of. We're actually getting a handful of people that aren't going to make it. They registered, but with the change on the 8th. For international people coming in, we're still struggling with that a little bit.
Yeah. I spoke with Ursula earlier today. She said she had got a good bit of registrations in today. So, with everybody traveling back from the race this past weekend, we expect to see a good bit this week. A lot of the teams like to focus race to race, and then we're at that point now. So.
Yep. Next big show is you guys. We really don't have much else in between now and then besides some testing and getting ready for it. And I think that's good. You guys want to touch anything more on before we'll still come back for any more ROK Vegas questions? Any other comments?
I think the last thing for me that I can think of is we'll definitely. I talked to RTD today. They'll be awarding the giving out the Dan Weldon Award that weekend. So excited to see that back. So they just wanted me to mention that, so we'll give that away too. All
right. So we'll circle back to ROK Vegas questions here in a little bit. Now we have had the dates out for Florida Winter Tour for a little while, and as everything was shifting, and now we're getting ready to plan for 2022. We've got our 3 locations set for the Florida Winter Tour for next year, right, Garett?
Yeah, where are they?
Now let me pull them up.
Post that bad boy.
Yeah, there we go. So I'll have you go ahead and walk through the schedule.
Yeah, so we're going to go back to Isle. For us, it's another great location. We like working with them, another Caesars property, and we're happy to go there. Of course, we missed Tropicana last year, with everything going on. So we're looking to get back there. It's probably one of our the most comments we got as far as having great environment and a fun race. I was really bummed we couldn't be there last year. So we're excited to go back there. And then finally, everybody's been asking. So we're going to Orlando Kart Center. So that should be exciting. I know everybody loves that track. So that'll be our final. We'll be back to back with Mark and his group. So we're excited about that. All I can say is it's going to be tight. The parking's going to be tight. So people are going to have to plan and not only help us, but help Mark get his program together because it's going to be tight in there. So, but yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, and actually, just from our producer, Kyle was just bringing to my attention also on those dates is the there we go, got him up there. We have that St. Petersburg date at Tropicana Field. That is 5 days before the Indy Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, which hasn't moved up this year. So you could race the ROK Cup Florida Winter Tour at Tropicana Field, and if you have an extra week, that's sometimes right around a midwinter break for school, you can hang out in Tampa, Florida, and hang out for the IndyCar GP of St. Pete right down the road.
Yep. Yeah, I think we did that. We did that the first year? That first year, was that the same way, or they were before us?
They were after.
They were after us. Same deal. And then last year they moved it around. Actually, last year they canceled last year.
Yeah.
No, they put it at the end of the year. They moved it to the end of the year.
Oh yeah.
It got moved all around. Yeah, last year so it was crazy. But yeah, so you guys got IndyCar GP of St. Pete that weekend after February. We got 2 temp tracks. arguably everyone's favorite track when it comes to Florida, right after the U.S. Pro Kart Series event the week before, which is really, really cool. So we'll go back through and let's get to some of the Florida Winter Tour questions. Some of them, this one actually came in right even before we went live. So this is from Michael Deshies. He was asking, what license would a Canadian need to participate in the Florida Winter Tour 2022 Senior ROK GP?
We were back and forth on this, and I can't remember what it is. I know there's a few license grades there, but the license that you're required to have in Canada works for here. So I'm not sure what grade that is, but I know your karting license that you're required to have there works no problem here. So we work with the ASN there closely. I just can't remember. I had this conversation about 3 months ago with somebody about coming to Vegas, but I just can't remember the grades and how they lay out. But general karting license will work in the U.S.
Sweet. This was from Jake Phillips asking if we'll have 206 classes at Florida Winter Tour this year.
I don't know. It's something to think about. We didn't do them obviously this year, but it's not out of the question. It's just something we need to kind of think about. But yeah, I mean, if you guys are interested, the big thing I need is to know that you guys want to go. So reach out to everybody that you know that may want to go. Flood my email with requests, and we'll see what we can do.
There we go.
Ursula touched in on that. It says national license for
national license. There you go.
Yep. So there you have it. So as long as you got a national license, you'll be good to run the Florida Winter Tour in any of the classes. We had one more question. This is from Cody asking about the schedule, looking back towards ROK Vegas, asking, we've got Super Pole for ROK Junior and I believe Super Pole for Shifter, but no ROK Senior.
Yeah, so the idea was there we would take two classes, junior and shifter, kind of give some to the junior and then the premier senior class as well. Robbie and I are still trying to decide whether we're going to be able to make that work. With the track change, I don't know if you guys looked at the old track, but there was a hot pit area. We had this whole plan to do this Super Pole fun event. And I just don't know if we're going to be able to make it work on this, but to be determined. Let's just say that. Yeah. If we do it, it's still going to be junior and ROK shifter.
There you go.
And the reason not senior and all that is because we did one a few years ago at Florida Winter Tour, and it was targeted to the senior class. So we just try to move it around to touch all the classes, you know.
There you go. This was only other question we got. We're getting a little low on the questions here because I think we answered a good bit. Austin Osborne already wanting to move to Masters. He's washed up, you know, former KA champ. He wants to know, how is it proven? How good is his fake birth certificate, right?
Does he have a mustache yet?
He's got lamb chops. He's kind of got a beard going, a little bit going.
I think you got to go to full stash before you're going to be able to get into Masters.
Oh, man.
So requirements, he really wants to know the requirements is 32 plus. Does he know that, or is he just giving me grief?
I think he's giving you grief. I think he's knowing that he needs to find a ride, and I feel like he thinks he can get a Masters ride. So we'll see. Maybe we'll see Austin Osborne in Masters under like a fake ID. I don't know, Austin Jackson or something. And then here, another 206 guy, Ron Ryder, asking for 206. 206 stuff's getting bigger in Florida, so all you Florida guys,
email me. Email me.
Hit him up. If you want 206 in Winter Tour, it's not out of the question. You just got to bring the numbers. At the end of the day, you know, the cool part about the ROK Cup events when we try to do this, you guys try to do the schedule, is try to make sure we're not there all day to watch two go-karts go around the racetrack. Nobody likes that. So you got to have a lot of go-karts to make it worthwhile. But if you get a lot of 206s, they're there.
Well, it's not any fun for anybody on the track either, let alone people watching. So, but if they can get the numbers up, I mean, we're in. I mean, we want to put on a race. If they want to come race, let's race.
Sounds awesome. Yeah. So that's pretty much most of the question. Oh, this was I feel like a good question. A little bit about it. ROK continue to support some of the local club series in the future from Dex McQueen.
Yeah, we're actually looking at doing a completely different plan. It's a little too soon for me to elaborate on that, but we do have some thoughts on re-engineering what we're doing for the remainder of the 2022 season after Florida Winter Tour. So we're kicking a bunch of ideas back and forth on how we do that, and yes, we want to push more back on the clubs as much as we can. So the answer is yep, we're working on a program.
There we go. So we'll leave it open for you guys to send any more questions here for these last couple minutes. That will keep Robbie and Garrett on the line before work keeps on going and keeping these guys busy, because it's full gas getting ready for ROK Vegas. Like for those of you that may have just missed a little bit on the early side of the show, of course, we've got the track layout, brand new track, complete redesign, still in the same lot, still really close to everything, right about the same walking distance from the farthest part of the Rio to get to the paddock area. Again, complete redesign, looks super cool. Gonna have to take a cool look at where you can pass. I think the track walk's gonna be fun because we got something new. We haven't had a really new layout in Vegas in a couple of years from anyone. So this is going to be super cool to come and check out and see how it races. And then, of course, Florida Winter Tour locations are official, guys. So we're going to the Isle Casino in Pompano in North Miami. We're going to Tropicana Field in Tampa the week before the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg for IndyCar. So if you want to hang around in Florida the week after Indy GP of St. Pete, just a few days after, super cool stuff. They get on track usually by Friday with some of the support races going on. And then we answered all the questions there. Any other questions, you can always look back on the replay of this after. Let's see. What other question we got? One last question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just to add to those dates there, the Isle will be a brand new circuit, temp circuit. We're going to design a completely new circuit. And it's looking like Tropicana is going to be very similar to the circuit we ran there 2 years ago, with some minor changes to kind of avoid some of the bumps that were there. But you can plan for a complete redesign circuit for Isle and a modified circuit for Tropicana.
Yeah, we actually redesigned not a full track, but I would say the back section. I can't even remember what those turns are. Robbie, do you remember the 8, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that area?
Yeah.
We redesigned that for this year, but obviously we didn't lay it out. So we'll go with that design to avoid those couple bump areas in that back section that some of the teams were concerned with. Actually, we were more concerned than the teams were, but we'll make those adjustments, and that one should be really good.
Sweet. So that answers there from Michael. Here's Pompano track change, brand new track at Isle Casino, updates to the one from Tropicana. That was good to make it a little bit better and bigger. This was this is from Galo Barros, plans on the Northeast. I think that kind of goes along with what you're saying, Garrett. You guys got some new stuff coming on the way, so stay tuned for that. Yeah,
we've got some really exciting stuff specifically on the far Northeast. But also to address some club programs through the center of the country and on both coasts.
There you go. Matt Del Sol was asking VLR Masters for Winter Tour. I'm guessing that's probably we had that this year actually.
Yeah. We'll have Masters. Yeah, can't leave the old guys out. They'll pay the bills.
Yeah. No, they come to race. And the old saying of Masters racing, like they got to go to work on Monday. It doesn't always happen, but there'll be a class there for guys thinking of that. But sure. we will have VLR Masters. We had that this year, and it was growing. Even in this year when we were double Cal, we were pushing in the first. Is this the first year we had VLR Masters at Winter Tour?
Yeah, I mean the Masters is pretty good. It's kind of interesting because the West Coast has always had a strong Masters program with tag, whatever it is. The Masters has been pretty good. The East hasn't been super strong, but it's doing well, I think, as far as that goes.
And a couple guys jumping on here asking some questions late. They got on a little bit late to the show. This is from Andy Nish talking about the fuel compound. Garrett, I'll give you the answer for that, what you had earlier.
Yeah, so we don't know yet. We're planning for no tanks coming out. Obviously, you'll have to keep your fuel jugs and mix there. As I said before, last year I included a pitcher that I've never included in our permits before, so I think that kind of caught me out and kind of threw up a red flag. So that pitcher got deleted out of this permit, so I'm hoping we don't need to deal with it. But we do have a plan in place, and we do have it laid out so it won't be like last year. So it's not an afterthought or something we had to adjust to. So we're planning on no, but we have it set up. We can do it fairly easily, or easily actually for you guys, if it needs to happen.
A couple other Masters questions were coming in. So exceptions of moving up or, age restrictions on the Masters weight. Ursula actually joined in the chat and said 190, I believe, is the driver weight with the.
Yeah, so 32 plus or 190 plus or 190 pounds body weight. So if you're 30 and you're 190, you're good.
There you go. So you guys got the options to move up. Late to the show here, Jed Perkins talking about 206. It's open. It's an open door. You guys got to rally the troops and get them here. But if you get enough, we can put a race on.
Yeah, we're ready to do it. We can put time in the schedule. We just need some commitments, and we'll make it work.
And Laurentio Mordan, Larry, late to the show, late to register. But guess what? Good news. It's still open.
Yeah. Ursula, you're there. Is it Friday or Monday?
Let's see. We'll wait on her to have the real answer. The one that actually runs the whole show.
I think it's Monday. Pretty sure it's Monday. But she'll yell at us in a second.
Yeah. Get on to us for not being prepared. But let's see. That's November 3rd. Oh, yeah. Oh, so you can get it. Whoa. Pretty late there to show. That's Wednesday.
She's being pretty courteous.
Why do you got to do that to yourself, Ursula?
She's
you should have told us tonight.
Too nice.
And then you'd have all that work done.
All right. Well, Larry, you put it out there on Facebook, so I'm throwing it on the stream, so it's cemented in stone. 3 to 4 guys, Techno, bring them out. Make sure they're in Vegas.
Looking forward to it.
And this is from Austin Boyle. Pro drivers registering. Actually, yes, there are a few. You guys know a few. I'm going to try and get a couple of those guys on, some of the big names that are in. But
we have a few. I'm hoping that RTD will be able to release some stuff here pretty quick. But, yes, we do have a few pro drivers coming.
Yep. So
you might not want to miss racing against them.
No.
Yeah.
Might never happen again.
Yeah. You never know. You never know, man. So, yeah, we do have some pro drivers on the entry list and more probably still to come from what I'm hearing. Super, super cool. So here we go. Ron, there it is. Let's make it happen. Let's do it. 206 Racing Florida Winter Tour. If you want it, rally them up. Let's go, guys. I think kind of closing thoughts. I think we've got all the questions answered. Anyone else that has any more? We'll have the replay up. We'll have clips coming up as well over the next few days. Garrett and Robbie, anything to sign off with?
Just if you haven't got your pit spot request form filled out and sent in, make sure you email that over to info@ROK Cup USA so we can have that and be prepared for when you show up. Be very detailed on there, your size of the paddock space you need. If there's somebody you want to try to pit next to, we kind of run a first come, first serve basis deal. Like, you show up, we get you parked. If the spot's available next to your buddy, we can park you next to your buddy. If not, I get you as close as I can. But those forms, I know it don't seem that important to you, but it helps me a lot when I'm building the puzzle. So if I know you're coming and you tell me, hey, I'm gonna be there a day later than him, I can kind of save that spot right there for you. So let me know, and we'll get it in the paddock, and make it all work out.
Yeah, and I think the other thing as far as parking, obviously parking's probably one of our biggest issues. So just come as, we're looking to park big, what we're calling semis or big rigs on Sunday morning. So if you're not classified in that, please wait, because the room is limited down that road as we start getting people in. There's really not a holding area. It's worked at Rio. We haven't had any big issues, but I just don't want to cause any kind of traffic issues.
Plus, we don't want to leave you sitting on the side of the road the whole time waiting for me to be able to park you, So and then also parking on Sunday morning, and then for free in the afternoon on Sunday, we'll get you parked. If not, plan for Monday.
Yeah, we'll be shooting an email out to some of the other teams so they know their window on when to come in. So
there we go. All right, guys. Well, any other questions? You can obviously hit ROK Cup USA on any of the social medias. You can send an email on the ROK Cup USA website. Registration is open. As nice as Ursula is, and the one that makes the whole show work, all the way till Wednesday, November 3rd. Wow. If you do not have your entry in, crazy. She's wild. It's not any of the three of us, but she wants to make it work, and that's how motivated these guys are to get you in. So Wednesday of race week, you can still get there, get your pre-registration in, of course, and get on track. So make sure you guys go
You better
ahead.
bring her a coffee if you wait that long.
You better do something to make up for it.
Something.
Don't be expecting any front row pit spot if you show up Wednesday, though. That's for sure. That's for sure. You ain't gonna get that. All right, guys. Thanks again for tuning in, Garett.
Thanks, Andrew. Appreciate it.
Appreciate having us. Thank you.
We'll talk to you guys, everyone, real soon. See you guys in Vegas.
Thank you. Okay, be safe.
Take care.